Hey dolls, welcome back to your Royal BFF, the People's Duchess. Happy Monday. Hope you guys are well. So, I'm glad that Princess Karen here stayed out of the sun with this lovely, very wide brimmed hat that she turned up to at Wimbledon. And the only thing I'm confused about is I thought that there was a protocol that said you can't wear hats to Wimbledon. Or was I smoking crack back then? Am I mistaken? Because I could have sworn, yes, here it is. You're not supposed to wear hats because it impedes the view of others behind you. Other than the official rule that exists, it's also incredibly rude. Like, people just consider it very rude of spectators in the front to wear a hat. But you know what? Maybe I am smoking crack. Maybe I just need to look a little bit closer for the fine print that says only if you're a Black American princess who happened to have married Prince Harry. The fine print has to be here somewhere because when Meghan turned up to Wimbledon with her little Panama hat in 2018, you guys wanted to try her for attempted first degree premeditated murder. So surely I have missed the fine print on which skin tones can wear hats and which cannot. So while I look for the one drop rule in this protocol, let's revisit what they said. They said that this was a big, huge no-no. Every royal commentator from Newcastle to Cornwall had something to say about Meghan showing up in her hat. And she didn't even wear the hat, she just kept the hat with her just in case, she needed it elsewhere. But oh, the fact that she even dared to bring the hat was a slap in the face. Premeditated malice murder. She broke royal protocol. She didn't have any respect. She was rude, obnoxious, American of her to bring a hat, not thinking anything about anybody else, blah, blah, blah. But now that Princess Karen has told these Wimbledon people where to take their hat rule and where to shove it, all of a sudden, it's either no longer of anyone's concern or it's now fashionable to be rude. This was another attempt to force Meghan into a box, a little tiny little corner that didn't occupy too much space at all, because it's not even about the rule. The fact of the matter is, when you're in that royal box, you can do whatever the hell you want to do. Hat, no hat, whatever. The only reason why we know this rule about hats in the royal box is because it only applies to Meghan. This is Pippa and her mom, Beatrice and her man, and even Queen Elizabeth. Everybody wears a hat at Wimbledon. And look how large these brims are. Karen shows up with a garbage can lid on her head and nobody bats an eye. Like, how that work? You're gonna have to explain it to me like I'm 6, how that worked. And this is the only protocol that's a real, valid, verified, written down rule that you would assume everybody should have to follow. And look, I'm aware of the heat provision. I'm very aware of the heat provision, but Meghan also went to Wimbledon on July 14th of 2018. It was exactly this time in 2018 with this heat when she went with her Panama hat. So you can't say that the weather conditions were any different. It was also quite sweltering. And look, I'm not trying to make a mountain out of an anthill here, right? It is just a hat. But when it came to Meghan, it was a concealed weapon. It was a weapon of mass destruction. In addition to her hat being the devil, you also said that her wearing those white wide-leg trousers to Wimbledon signaled the end of mankind. I remember this like it was yesterday. Y'all said that the high treason of her wearing wide-leg pants during her engagements could possibly one day be forgiven, but wearing them to Wimbledon, well, that was an act of war. So pardon my confusion, but have we initiated the war of the wide-leg trousers? Did Princess Karen wearing these blue wide-leg trousers to Wimbledon last week, did that trigger the same act of war, or... And I'm all ears. I'm being very facetious right now, and yes, but I am all ears if you have a reasonable explanation as to why Meghan's wide-leg trousers and suits in general, because she really came in and put suits on the map as well, why that's unacceptable when she did it, but now it's the standard. Lest we forget, this was the standard pre-2016. Lest we forget, wearing short dresses that were very flowy in windy conditions, flashing your bits and goods to everyone around you. This was how you should look and act in public as a royal lady. This was literally the UK's version of decorum. You thought that this was okay for your future queen. Forget the weighted hemlines that everyone kept telling her to put inside those hems. Forget that. No, no, no. Why not have a Marilyn Monroe moment every chance you get in public? Why not? I mean, you've worked hard for this backside, right? At the time, she was still eating, she was still relatively healthy. Why not, right? This was your standard prior to 2016, and this was perfectly fine for you. But suits that covered the entire body were not. Okay. I'm also old enough to remember when y'all said that there were certain silhouettes that were not allowed because this is how you're used to your royal women dressing, right? Froofy little baby doll dresses that you really appreciate because it helps you infantilize her to the age range that you're more comfortable seeing women at. You know, the Prince Andrew range. So fine. But why did you get mad at Meghan because she wanted to look like an adult woman? She wore very interesting silhouettes, very avant-garde, bold silhouettes, and y'all said that that was unroyal. Y'all said that this black Givenchy look with the bold one shoulder and silk underlining with the slit, y'all said that this was very unroyal of her. Let me ask, did you mean unroyal or were you just upset that she didn't even have to try? Heavily pregnant, she just had to throw on this dress, pull her hair back, throw on a little bit of lip gloss, and boom, bow, she was good to go. Award worthy, good to go. Is that why you were mad? Is that why you were calling her vulgar for wearing this? Because she is the embodiment of a woman. She is the essence of a woman, and you can clearly see that. Oh no, she's not the first royal woman ever to wear a one-shouldered dress, but for whatever reason, it triggered such fury in Sarah Vine and others. I mean, y'all were inconsolable over this look. And I think it's also because there's a really high instance of PDF culture in the royal circles. Y'all are already creeping all over Charlotte, refusing to let Khate age. You're airbrushing her back to her teenage years for some reason. Very creepy, very Epstein adjacent, but that's neither here nor there. You don't want women in these like mature grown silhouettes because you don't want to be reminded that they're mature. And that is what we call a you problem. But hey, it looks like things are turning around a little bit now that Princess Kitty Cat's in her 50s. You guys are finally starting to accept her at oh, she's in okay. Well, now that Khate is in her mid 40s, you guys are finally starting to accept her as an adult, as a grown woman with 3 children, and as such, you have let her start experimenting with style and silhouettes. And bless her, she's trying. That green Amelia Wickstead, that was quite familiar. One that, if I recall correctly, you said looked, and I quote, disheveled and weird because of the asymmetry in the draping on Meghan. You know, in Paris, in that black Balenciaga that gagged the world and had her on every best dress list for weeks. Yeah, you said that dress was weird, that it was so strange, that what's up with the silhouette? Why is it asymmetrical? Where's the other sleeve? So you could imagine how flipped my pancake was when I saw the exact same silhouette on Princess Karen at Wimbledon just a few days ago. Color me shocked. Color me confusion. Or am I again tripping on acid and this isn't a poor facsimile of Meghan's Balenciaga gown mixed with her viral olive Ralph Lauren set that she wore to Prince Louis's christening? You know, the one where you deliberately didn't tell her the dress code, so she accidentally cleared y'all in this dress. You know what? The model is actually clearing you too. I do fear she ate you up and mogged you down. Oh well. So Princess Karen finished the look with some of Meghan's favorite pieces, including her Demelier bag, as well as her Ralph Lauren heels. Now, The Demelier bag Meghan really put on the map when she first came to the UK. She was seen wearing it all up and through their engagements. She loves this Demelier bag. She carries it pretty often. She still carries it till today, and now, subsequently, so do all the other royals. Even your queen loved this bag on Meghan so much that she got it in the exact same color. Not surprising. Not surprising at all. But yeah, I mean, this is an ode. This is an ode to Meghan, if you ask me. This is a Meghan mood board, Pinterest board dream. This is something that she's probably worked closely with the designer. All of her looks, really, are Meghan mood board looks, and they have been for a very, very long time. Now, we've always known that you're doing this to troll because, you are a troll. Queen of the trolls, if anything. But I don't know. This whole Wimbledon cosplay week, yeah, it gave me some laughs, but it's actually pretty sad, especially when you consider the etymology of this obsession. It goes way back, y'all. You have to go back a decade to understand this woman's obsession with the Duchess of Sussex. Okay, so picture it. July 2016, Meghan and her Suits co-star Sarah Rafferty do a segment on the Today Show. She had already been dating Prince Harry at this time, and Harry had in fact let his brother and sister-in-law know about the love of his life and that things were getting pretty serious. And you can't tell me that she didn't immediately dive into Princess Meghan's archives, because why did she then turn up in the exact same silhouette, same color, same daring neckline? This dress won a whole lot of praise as far as the critics were concerned, and she thought to herself, probably right then and there, I am going to stick with this woman's closet. Whatever she produces, I will replicate. This is where Copycat was born. And the only reason we didn't see her in all of Meghan's cosplay during the 2017 latter half, 2018 and 2019 was because it would have been too obvious. They were both senior working royals at the time. It would have been too obvious and too much of a risk to actually show up somewhere wearing something almost exactly identical to Meghan. So she played it safe. She went back to her coat dress theory and just kind of stuck that out until Meghan left, where then she resumed the cosplay. And this is why the PR doesn't work anymore. This is why your PR is crumbling and why the hate campaigns don't work, because anyone and everyone has access to this information. This is the kind of stuff that you guys would have been able to bury in the 90s or just pretend didn't exist way back when, but we now have access to this information at the snap of a finger. And I don't know, girl. It don't look too good for you. It just don't. You doing way too much and not enough at the same time. And although the PR strategy is ambitious, it is so antiquated. Harass, harass, lie on, harass, harass. You don't actually have any substance to put forth. Your whole thing is just to harass and bully. You don't really have like a replacement plan or anything. None of you are authentic. None of you are intuitive or innovative. There's no creativity. There's nothing anyone can look forward to. I mean, you thought you'd get rid of Harry and Meghan and people would turn their eyes on you. Why would we turn our eyes to you? What interesting thing do you have going on? You're still pretending you can't even say your name correctly in a sentence. And who would be interested in that? What intellectual, fully formed adult with all of their mental faculties in place would be interested in some nitwit and her ugly ass husband? I mean, you guys are just fortunate that you have children who could possibly be interesting when they grow up. I personally think George is going to take the cake because I paid an Etsy witch $80 to make sure he fell in love with a Sudanese supermodel. So, in about 15, maybe 20 years, things should be getting really interesting over there at Buckingham Palace. So, stay tuned for the next generation of how racist can Khate and William possibly get? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, buy me a coffee if you're so inclined. Join the memberships. We have a lot of fun and members only. Follow me on my socials. Have a wonderful rest of your week, guys. Please be kind to yourselves. And until next time, bye for now.